I am 23 years old at the time of making this video, about to be 24. I've been making $10,000 a month online since I was 21, and I had that goal in my mind to make 10,000 bucks a month when I was 18 years old. I had these goals and ambitions, and I also had a plan on how to achieve them. If you want what I wanted all those years ago, when I was 18 years old, I just graduated from high school, I was barely making any money. I was making like 500 to 1,000 bucks a month online from graphic design, which was nothing. I couldn't afford rent, I could barely afford food. If you're like me and you want to learn how you can achieve a goal like that in a short amount of time, I'm gonna tell you how I did it. So the first thing that you need to understand is that money as a concept is simply a transfer of value. It is simply a transactional value that shows one party what they're capable of, and then the other party shows what the other party is capable of. I know that might have been a little bit confusing at the end, but all you need to understand is that if you provide value to something or somebody else, they will give you money in exchange. You have to think at the back of your head, okay, take a step back. What can I provide as value to the marketplace, to somebody or some company? What value can I provide that they are willing to go ahead and then give me that $10,000 a month in exchange? And there are a ton of different avenues that you can go down, but I'll tell you what doesn't work. Sticking in a retail job at McDonald's, or maybe you're working at the mall, or you're working at some big box retail store, that is never going to get you to 10,000 bucks a month, unless maybe you're just an excellent employee. And then eventually, several years later, you get noticed by your boss's boss, and then you get promoted to district manager. Okay, maybe now you're making like 8, 9, 10,000 bucks a month. Fine. If you want to go down that route and it looks and sounds cool to you, well, you should probably not watch this video, because that's not what we're going to talk about. Instead, we're going to talk about the high income skill sets that you need to acquire in order to achieve your goal of making 10,000 bucks a month online. I knew that graphic design, unless I was literally getting contracted out by like Marvel Studios and Nike and all these big brands, I knew that graphic design was never going to get me to 10,000 bucks a month online unless I dedicated probably near a decade of my life to do that. And that's just because you're competing with so many people out there. There's so many people across the world that possess that skill, that are offering their services for a fifth of the price that you need to live in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, etc., wherever cost of living is much higher than, say, Pakistan or India. The way graphic design works, and I knew this very, very young. I was 16, 17 when I came to the realization. I had been doing it since I was 14. I'm like, okay, this is not sustainable. How do I break free? How do I switch up what I'm doing right now? And for you, instead of graphic design, this could be maybe working, again, retail, maybe working fast food, maybe working a waiting job at a restaurant. You have to come to that realization that this cannot be the end point for me. I can't stop my journey of wanting to progress in my career. And as long as you have that burning desire inside of you, you're gonna be okay. And I know it might sound cheesy to say that, and it's like, oh, you're so privileged in your position. Jay, you know, how could you possibly say that to me? And I'm like, dude, I worked that job too. I was a cashier at a Buffalo Wild Wings for almost a year and a half, and I know what that feels like. To have money coming in, but your bills are higher every month, even though you worked 40 hours a week, and your feet hurt and you don't want to go to work the next day and life sucks. I get it. I know what that's like, but I still had that burning desire for more. And that's what you need to have if you ultimately want that goal. Okay, enough delaying the inevitable. Let's actually get into the skills that you need if you want to make this kind of money. So you can go through copywriting, which is essentially writing emails for big e-commerce brands or influencers or whatever it is. You can write email copy for them. That's easily going to get you 10,000 bucks a month if you know what you're doing. Much higher even if you really know what you're doing. You can also go into different other forms of copywriting, such as landing page and conversion rate optimization copy, advertising copy, so writing digital ads, things like that. Overall, the skill is very easy to acquire, because if you have an understanding of the English language, it's literally just learning how to write words that sell and don't sound like an MLA formatted essay. All right, moving on, paid advertising. This is what I do. So this is basically running ads on, say, Meta, Facebook, Instagram. Pick a platform, become specialized in that platform, and then offer your services to companies that are looking to get sales, get leads, drive awareness for their brand, maybe drive app installs for an app that they have on Google or Apple Play stores. Paid advertising, tons of money into it. And also something really unique about paid advertising is that if you scale an account, say maybe you start managing their ad spend for $5,000 a month, they're spending $10,000 a month. Well, if you scale that account to $100,000 a month, you make more money because you can ask for more money because it's justified to pay you more money. So there's a very high skill ceiling as a video game term that I'm sure some of you guys are out there are aware of. And that's the issue that I was facing with graphic design. Very low skill ceiling, meaning you could make money by designing crappy thumbnails for YouTubers. It's very low paying, but at the high end, it's very, very, very difficult to go ahead and make a lot of money with graphic design. Versus paid advertising, you can make a lot of money really quickly with a high skill ceiling, but it does take a little bit more to get into. It's more technical, you have to understand economics, etc. So that's paid advertising. Next, sales. Sales is something that a lot of YouTubers will talk about. I actually don't have direct experience with sales, but I will say this. I know a lot of people and friends that have gone through the sales route, and the higher the ticket, the better your commission checks are gonna be. Because think about it, if you're selling a $300 million jet, and you get a commission for that, yes, is the percentage of money that you receive for that sale going to be lower than, say, if you sold a $3,000 online course? Yes, of course it is, but you're still making millions of dollars every time you sell that jet. Now, I know it's easy to say, go sell jets, you know, it sounds stupid to say that, but you can jump in straight away and make well over $10,000 a month. And here's the cool part, I actually have a friend that sold Vivint home security systems. His name's Elliot. He might be watching this video actually. So shout out to you, brother. He sold these Vivint home security systems that had a monthly subscription revenue going for it. And he was making commission every single month that a customer that he signed up to Vivint was continuing to pay. And so he no longer works for Vivint, but for several months thereafter, he was still making a ton of money coming through the door without him having to lift a single finger, just because he was getting those recurring commission checks. And that's really how you build up wealth with sales. Off the rip, a couple months into the position, maybe you're only making $4,000 or $5,000 a month. And then all of a sudden those commissions start rolling in, and now you're 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 even $1,000 a month without even being a higher level sales rep. It all depends on what you're selling. It all depends the company that you're in, and it all depends the skill that you have. But the skill ceiling for sales is very, very high. And if you're good at talking to people and you know how to interact and you know how to sell stuff, get into sales that can make you break free in less than 6 months. Get a commission-only sales job selling something that you know a little bit about, that you're interested in, and as long as you're hungry, you'll make it. Okay, that was a lot to talk through. I gave you the 3 online skills that I would recommend to anybody that came up to me on the street. That's what I would tell them, and I hope it was useful for you. If it was, or maybe you have a differing opinion, please drop a comment down below in this video. I'm gonna reply to every comment. I love the discussions that we sometimes have in the comment section. And until next time, take care.